So guys, it is that time again. I haven't been this excited for a product ever since the M4 Mac Mini came out. And get this, Apple actually sent me out a MacBook Neo. Obviously after I purchased it on their website. But yeah, in this video, we're going to go through some questions people have been asking about the MacBook Neo. Who is it for? And just a general overview of this mysterious device. So let's check it out. So the first time I saw the actual MacBook Neo, it definitely gave me iPhone 5C vibes with them funky colors. Now, I was sure that I was going to get the citrus color, but I thought let's put it up to the public. So I did put a poll out on my YouTube community page, and the vast majority of you actually said I should get the indigo color, which was a surprise because I really thought the citrus one was going to win. So there has been a lot of controversy online regarding the MacBook Neo. And the main point has been that 8GB of unified memory. People are really wondering, can it do anything? Will it run anything? And how can you have 8GB in 2026? Which we'll talk more about that later on in the video, so stay tuned. And also the backlit keyboard, or should I say the lack of a backlit keyboard, has some people worried, which I honestly think is being hyped up more than it is an issue. So let me know in the comments box below, do you really care about having a backlit keyboard in a product that is marketed at $599 or $699 if you go for the higher up model, or is it just a non-issue? Now, if I know Apple, and I think by now how many products of theirs I've used, I do, they wouldn't release a product without making sure that it was good to go. And I think the people now that are going to be the most worried is going to be the Windows laptop market, because once people realize what this machine is capable of, you're probably going to see a lot of people switching over to macOS. Now, another thing is that 8GB of unified memory, people have it kind of confused because you can't compare 8GB of unified memory, a chip that's been built from the ground up, compatibility with the Mac machines, with the equivalent in a Windows laptop, because it's going to be far more capable and far more powerful than an 8GB Windows laptop will be, maybe even a 16GB one. And then a quick rundown of the actual specs of the MacBook Neo. We've got on the front a 13-inch liquid retina display, and it caps out at around 500 nits, I believe, which is plenty bright for using it inside or in a coffee shop or something like that. Maybe don't use it in direct sunlight, but otherwise you should be fine. The chip is an A18 Pro chip, which funnily enough is the same chip they had in the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max models. Some people might not know that. Of course, we've got 8GB unified memory. And then when it comes to the storage, you can go for 256 gig or 512 gig, and it is around $100, euros, pounds difference between the two, and that's basically the only thing you can really upgrade on this machine is the storage. And we'll talk more about the storage a little bit later on because it is quite important which model you choose. The 256 gig doesn't come with Touch ID, whereas the 512 gig model does come with Touch ID, which in my opinion is so much more convenient, especially when you're putting in passwords. It saves you a bunch of time. On the side, we've got two USB-C ports. One is a USB-C 2 port and one is a USB-C 3 port. Now, I am really disappointed that they actually put a USB-C 2 port on there, because 2026 we really shouldn't have that port on there at all. They could have easily put two USB-C 3 ports on there and it would have made life a lot easier for everyone. Now, you've got speakers on the side which are capable of spatial audio and Dolby Atmos, and of course you've got a headphone jack as well, which is a nice addition because some people actually like to plug in a headphone when they're doing stuff on this laptop, like video editing, stuff like that. Now, the camera is a 1080p FaceTime camera, which you should get decent quality, especially for Teams and Zoom and stuff like that, whatever you're doing on this laptop. And we've got Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 6, which again, perfectly good for 2026. Wi-Fi 7 isn't that mainstream yet, so Wi-Fi 6E should do you plenty. If I had to describe the MacBook Neo in 3 words, I would say premium, affordable MacBook. Reason being, I would call it still premium, although it is a low price, because the build quality on it is still very premium feeling, and I really can't distinguish anything between this and my MacBook Air, which costs more money when it comes to the build quality. Affordability, obviously, because the base model is $599. 512GB model is $599 with the Touch ID, and if you're a student, you get an extra 100 off, whether it be dollars, euros, pounds, to make it a very good deal. Something you have to bear in mind though is, because it is the cheapest MacBook out, some things that people may like or may not like is A, there is no notch, so you get a uniform bezel going all the way around the screen, which some people may like that because there was a lot of controversy when the MacBook Airs and MacBook Pros came out regarding the notch. A lot of people didn't like them. I personally don't mind them. I prefer the thinner bezel. Also, the trackpad, keyboard, and display are all included in that price. So you get a full-fledged machine for that $599 or $699 price tag. Whereas when the M4 Mac Mini came out, although it was a good price, a lot of people were complaining that now I have to go buy a keyboard, mouse, and a monitor. Whereas in here, it's all included. 1080p webcam, which is perfect for meetings or Teams or Zoom, whatever it may be. And I honestly think that's all people are going to use it for, really. And also one thing to note is because it lacks Thunderbolt for the ports, you are limited to one external display, which will be capped at 4K 60. But also, I don't think many people are going to want to use 2 extra displays with this machine. 1 extra display is more than enough. So the big question is, who is the MacBook Neo for? And I think it's pretty simple. In my opinion, let me know if I'm wrong. Parents, this will be great for parents, especially if you don't need some super powerful machine. It will last you a while. Same goes for college students, high school students. If you want to get your child their first MacBook, laptop, whatever it may be, this will be great. It will last a while. And just the general user, somebody that's doing notes, emails, presentations, watching Netflix, stuff like that, even video editing. But obviously, if that's something that you're trying to do professionally and do more often, maybe go for the MacBook Air or the Pro. But the Neo is capable of doing that. Now, there are certain apps which I say that it goes into different categories. So, for example, video editing, if you're doing it rarely, now and then, Neo is perfectly fine for that, even 4K files. If you're doing it frequently, I would say go for the MacBook Air. And if you're doing it constantly, then you're better off just going for the MacBook Pro, just to get that extra power. Which one should I get? Should I get the base model? Should I get the upgraded storage model? Can you edit videos on it? Can you game on it? Here's what I'll say. If you can spare the extra dollars, euros, pounds, go for the upgraded storage model with the 512 gig storage with Touch ID for a couple of different reasons. First of all, you get Touch ID, and as a user of Touch ID, it comes in super handy for putting in passwords, verifying purchases and stuff like that. So it's more of a convenience thing. Second of all, the storage is good for 2 different reasons. First one being, obviously, you get more storage to store files, videos, and stuff like that on. The second one being because you only have 8 gigabytes of unified memory in here, if you do try to do more high-intensive tasks, generally the MacBook is probably going to go to start using swap memory. And if you're unsure what swap memory is, let me explain. So with that 8 gigabytes of unified memory, obviously when you open up applications, it starts using the memory however much it needs. Now with MacBooks, once it starts running out of memory available, it's going to start using the storage in your MacBook as memory to give you a little bit of extra boost for opening up your apps and making them function properly, which is why you can see that having the higher storage option MacBook will benefit you when it comes to overall performance and opening up more apps, because the 8 gigabytes of unified memory is something that you cannot upgrade. Can you edit? Can you game on it? From what I've seen, I haven't done my own tests yet. Yes, you can for both. I will be doing more tests like that in the upcoming videos. And that reminds me, if you do have any questions regarding the MacBook Neo, whatever it may be, compatibility for programs, can it do this, can it do that, just let me know in the comments box below and I'll be sure to answer anything I can. If you don't ask, I won't know and it probably won't get answered. And of course, there is the alternative of just getting a used MacBook Air, which is obviously another choice if you can find a really good price one. And then you will get the benefits of having more power, better display, better ports, better processor, just general better performance if you can get one around the same price range. But I think people are really going to be surprised with this device, and I can't wait to see what I'm able to do with it with the upcoming tests. Now, if you haven't yet, remember to subscribe to the video if I did earn your subscription. Like the video if you did like it, and if you didn't like it, hit that like button twice. Share this video with your friends and family who also might be interested in getting a MacBook Neo so they know the different things they should look out for. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.